Who or what stole our confidence? So let's have a look at this. I believe that we are born with confidence and we're born with esteem. The only thing that would take our confidence or take our esteem is if we've had fear-based experiences. So really we're only born with two fears. One is a fear of falling and two is a fear of loud noises. Every other fear that we have has been learned or we've experienced it. So some of the things that I think may have stolen our confidence is possibly some childhood stuff. So let's have a look back at ways our confidence is stolen through childhood experiences. One of the things that I know I've suffered myself is having the need to seek approval from my parents. That was a big one. I had very goal-orientated, task-orientated parents who loved it when I loved it when I did a good job of something, because they would say, "Oh, well done, Dawn, you've done a great job." So I would feel good when I would get acknowledgement from a task or a goal or a project that I'd done, and I would receive praise for that. So what happens is, though, is when we go into adulthood, we're constantly looking for the approval of others because we looked for it in the approval of our parents when we were a child, and that's quite normal. So many kids, have that situation. But what happens when we're in adulthood is that, especially if we're goal or task orientated, is that if we're in a work environment within a given project and we don't get approval or we don't get a praise from our work colleagues or our work friends, it's going to set us up for failure. It's going to set us up for disappointment. We're going to be discouraged, and ultimately our confidence levels are going to decline. So let's have a look at this. So the lie and the fear associated with seeking approval for others is I am only worthy when I am being acknowledged by my husband or my children or others around me or my work colleagues. So that is the lie. So what I wanted to do today is for you to have a little think about what lie you could be believing associated with seeking the approval of others. If I triggered something in you right now that's saying, actually, I think that's me. I think that when I don't get approval or acknowledgement from others, I actually get very disappointed. I actually get really discouraged and my confidence levels drop. Now, if that is you, we're going to have to deal with this. So I want you to sit quiet. And I want you to think about the lie that you are believing associated to that. The lie, as I said, could look something like this. I am only worthy when I'm achieving something, because that's when I get acknowledgement. That could be the lie. So just take a second, just pop this on pause right now and make that and write out that lie. Okay? So just go to pause and you write out the lie that you could be believing around seeking the approval of others. A truth statement or a truth declaration. So the truth of the matter is, okay, hear it right now. This is it. You are valuable, you are worthy, regardless of any job you do, any task you do. You are worthy, and you do not need the approval of others to be worthy or valuable. So this is a statement that you could make. I am worthy, regardless of others' approval of me of my work. I am confident and I approve of myself. So what I want you to do right now is write that down. Write a truth statement about you and your approval. You let it flow. Write it down, and then I want you to just pause right now. And then come back to me and with your piece of paper with your lie on it and your piece of paper with your truth on it. Okay, pause. Okay, so right now you should have a piece of paper with a lie on it that you have been believing that has been stealing your confidence, and you will have a truth statement declaring that you approve of who you are regardless of anybody else's approval of you. Okay, so what I want you to do right now is take the lie, get the lie in your hand, and I actually want you to rip up the piece of paper and I want you to throw it in the bin, because it's a lie and we need to get it out of our minds, we need to get it out of our thinking, we need to get it out of our life. Okay, and what I want you to do is start to get a journal, I always recommend that through any of our courses, you journal everything. So start to get a journal, and the first truth statement that's going to go in there is what you've just written. So number one truth statement, and it's whatever you've written. My example is, I am worthy regardless of others' approval for me or my work. I am confident and I approve of myself. So there you go. So another thing that could be stealing your confidence from a childhood perspective or a childhood experience would be that you was too scared to try because you would probably fail. Okay, so where does that come from? It could have come from a parent who has discouraged you to try new things, or a parent that may have had fear that you might, if you tried it, you would fail. So what that does is that creates a fear-based thinking in you that you're scared of trying new things because you will probably fail, probably because your parents may have thought that you were going to fail, so therefore you believe that. And the lie that you would be believing would be, if I fail or make a mistake, I am bad. If I try something, I'm not gonna succeed. And what that does, that will steal your confidence, and you're going to bring that into your adult thinking. If you don't address it, you don't clean it up, you don't change it for the truth, you're going to continue to believe the lie is, I'm not going to try anything new or anything different because I will fail, and I don't want to fail, so therefore I won't do anything. So what happens is, when you're a child and you're allowed to go out and make some mistakes, you're allowed to try new things and make some mistakes, that actually builds resilience, and it actually builds confidence. It teaches you how to approach problems. It teaches you how to overcome. It teaches you that if you fall down, it's okay. You've learned something, you can get back up and you can try again. So is this happening to you? Are you scared to try new things in case you fail? If that has triggered something in you right now, you are going to be believing a lie like, if I fail, if I try something new, I'm going to fail, and that's going to be bad, and I'm going to look bad. Okay, so that is an absolute lie. So what we did before, we put the lie on the piece of paper. So I want you to sit right now in a minute. I want you to pause this in a second, but I want you to write out the lie that you're believing. You have a little think about it. It'll come to your mind, the lie that you're believing. I want you to write it down. And then we're going to come back and we're going to do the truth. So if you pause right now, pause. Okay, welcome back. And what we're going to do now is we're going to put the truth statement in. Okay, so what is the truth? The truth would look something like this. This would be my truth. I will try regardless if I fail or achieve. I am willing to give new things a go. I am not afraid, because if I fail, I always win. Now that could be a truth statement, and you've got to figure out what that truth statement would look like for you. So I want you to pause this now, write your truth statement. So right now you've already got your lie that you've possibly been believing, and we're going to create the truth statement. So do that now and then come back. Okay, so right now you should have a lie that you're believing and a truth statement. Okay, so literally same thing. And once you get the lie, and whatever the lie says, that's what it is. I want you to rip the piece of paper up, and I want you to throw it in the bin, and I want you to decree and declare the truth. So I want you to speak it out right now. What is the truth in relation to being scared of trying new things? You are no longer a slave to fear. You are now a woman of confidence, and you're going to step out and you're going to try new things. So once you've got your truth statement, I want you, remember the journal I talked about a little minute ago? I want you to jot down your new truth statement associated to trying new things. And I'm going to see you in a minute. So another reason why you might have had your confidence stolen through childhood experiences, if you had conversations about comparison, people comparing you, whether it was your parents comparing you, teachers or siblings comparing you, and it would have sounded something like this. You would have been told, why can't you be more like your sister? Why can't you be more like your brother? Why can't you be more like your school friends or other people? So there's this real comparison thing going on in your mind, and what that will actually do is it will create you will come into an adult in the believing that I'm only good when I'm like so-and-so, so-and-so. I'm only good when I'm like this person. But that's an absolute lie. The lie in your mind will be that I'm only worthy when I'm being like somebody else. We see this a lot in our society today. We have a lot of young girls who are aspiring to be like, let's take, for example, the Kardashians. They want to look like them, they want to dress like them, because their value comes from when I'm being like that person. I feel better about who I am. Now that is a lie. I'm not dissing the Kardashians, I'm just using them as an example, because we are individuals and we are unique, and we should have confidence within exactly who we are as women or as men, whoever it is watching this. You need to know that you don't need to compare yourself to others to be worthy. So let's have a look what lies we could be believing. So for example, the lie could be, I am only worthy when I am being or acting or looking like someone else. Now that is an absolute lie. Now if I've triggered something, if you were told as a child, you were compared by people around you, you were compared to be like, I'm only acknowledging you when you look or act like someone else. There is a lie happening there, and we need to get rid of it. So I want you to sit quiet right now and have a think about the lie that you could be believing around this comparison thing that could have been that is stealing your confidence. So pause this, write out the lie that you think you could be believing right now, and then press pause. Okay, so you've written out your lie, and what I want you to do now is write a truth statement. So the truth statement would look like something like this. I am an individual, I'm unique, I am wonderful who I am, I accept myself no matter what, and I do not compare myself. There is no one to compare myself to, because I am an individual and I am valuable regardless of what other people say I should be compared to. So it could look something like that. So what I want you to do is write your truth statement. Let the words flow out of your heart or out of your mind. So write the truth statement and then pause this, and then come back to me with the truth. So the lie that you're believing, and then the truth is the truth statement. So when you've done that, come back. Okay, so we've got the lie. Now we need to get the truth statement. So what is the truth? So an example of the truth statement could look like this. I can do all things to the best of my ability. They do. Okay, you're back. So we've got the lie. Guys, rip up that lie and chuck it in the bin, and let's get the truth statement. We're going to speak it out, and we're going to believe it. And then I also want you to pop that truth statement down in your journal. So you should have 4 truth statements right now. So that's 4. Now the last subject we're going to look at in session 1 is possibly having over-controlling parents. They're called helicopter parents. We love them, we honor them, our parents are wonderful people. But what happens is a helicopter parent would have hovered around you the whole time. So they would hover, doesn't matter what you were, what you were doing, they would kind of sweep over you and try and rescue from any circumstance. They're very overprotecting from life's experiences. They want to protect you. They don't want you to get hurt. They don't want you to fail. So they're like helicopters. They're swooping over you. But what this can do in adulthood is actually create victims rather than victors. So we don't want that. So the lie that we could be believing around having overprotective parents, us feeling like a victim, is the lie would be, I'm not good enough, and that's why I was never given the opportunity to take responsibility for myself. Boom, there it is. So I'm going to say that again. The lie that you could be believing if you had overprotective, over-controlling parents was, I'm not good enough. That's why I was never given the opportunity to take responsibility for myself. Now, that is an absolute lie. You are capable. You have the ability to achieve all that you have. You do not need anybody else to do it for you. You can have complete victory over your life. And so what could a truth statement be? The truth statement can be, I am capable of doing all things. I am valuable and I am worthy. So an example of a truth statement could be, I am good enough. I have the ability to do all that I need to do. I am value. I am taking responsibility for myself, and I can do this. I am not a victim. I am victorious in all the things I want to do. I can do it. So that is an example of a truth statement. So I want you to sit down, write out your lie statement, then write out your truth statement, and then yes, you've got it. You're going to rip up your lie, and we're going to decree and declare your truth. But also too, I want you to remember to write your truth statement down in your journal. So all you've got right now on your journal is 5 truth statements that are related to your confidence. So these truth statements are all going to help you build your confidence back up for wherever you look back in your life and where areas that it has been stolen and any lies you're believing, that's now gone. We've addressed anything that has stolen our confidence in our past, and now we have a series of truth statements that I want you to decree and declare over and over and over again until you get it, until you believe it on the inside. So that is the end of session 1. We're going to go over right now into session 2. And thank you for joining me on this one.